We live in a twilight world. Yesterday was the 21st of March, which is obviously a free encoded. March has always been a very busy month in regards to illusion operations. Yeah, world stage theatre. Of course, you got the 3rd of March, the 11th of March, that's obviously a 33 encoded, 12th of March, 21st of March, and the 30th of March. From start to finish, yeah, the whole month is usually filled with world stage theatre, illusion operations. If you remember last year, we had the Baltimore Bridge and the Crocus Moscow theatre siege or shooting or whatever the fuck it was, And of course, it's all part of the whole double cross system. It's chicken feed, yeah? They want you to talk about it. This is the thing, right? I know people don't like hearing this. I know people are probably sick of me saying it. But the main overarching agenda at the moment is they want you and everyone in some way, shape or form to be dependent on the internet or to be on the internet in general. So when it comes to world stage theatre, they make it very obvious that it's fake and phony because they would love you to be a conspiracy theorist or an alternative media person that sets up their own podcast, starts blogging or starts a TikTok channel and becomes a, influencer or pundit or whatever. The one thing this system loves more than you just being a normie with a fake job, paying your taxes, is being a pissed off, angry conspiracy theorist that's making videos all day long about how fake and phony the world is. Yeah? Now you're supposed to say, well, Les, aren't you doing that right now? And I'm supposed to say, well, no, I could crank out 10 hours of videos a day if I wanted to. It's going to be a very quick video, rushed, minimal time. And the whole theme of what I'm saying is get off the Black Mirror, stop partaking in the illusion, and go and live a good life. Yeah? So on that note, let's do this. Let's hurry up and smash this out real quick. Yesterday, the 21st of March, which is a free, we had some world stage theatre. We had the shutdown of London Heathrow Airport. The biggest airport in Europe. Used to be the biggest airport in the world. I don't know off the top of my head which one's overtaken it. But it's also the biggest, interconnecting airport. Meaning it has the most connecting flights. Meaning that if you're going across the world, there's a good chance you will stop at London Heathrow if it's a long journey. Say from the Americas over to Asia or something like that. Yeah. In my opinion, that's all by design. London is, of course, the 0 point on the chessboard that the British Empire laid over the world. So it makes sense that they make sure everyone stops here just to steal their energy before they hop on to the next part of their journey. Anyway, I digress. So, apparently there was a fire at a substation and this meant that there was a power issue to Heathrow Airport. Apparently 67,000 homes in the area had no power for a couple of hours. And essentially, they shut down the airport. I think this is what they said. I don't know how true this is. 120 planes were diverted mid-air, which would have sent shockwaves across the world because now these flights have got to do an emergency landing unscheduled in an airport, which will have a knock-on effect of the scheduled flights of that day, yeah? 1,300 flights that were due to take place in and around, coming in or coming out of Heathrow were cancelled. Once again, that will send a shockwave around the world, messing up other airports that are not anything to do with Heathrow, right? It will send a global boom, shockwave through the whole airline industry. Millions, perhaps even billions, would have been lost yesterday, right? But what you got to remember is the people that engineer these events, yeah? And if you're asking me, is this an engineered event? I believe so, yes. Can I prove that? No, I can only speculate. But anyway, the people that would have known that this event was going to happen would obviously have done the whole thing of selling their stocks and shares the night before, waiting for this event to happen and then buying their stocks and shares back, yeah, for pennies, and essentially conjuring up billions for themselves overnight. They don't really give a fuck about the plebs, yeah, you people that have had to have spent a night sleeping in an airport or having your whole holiday ruined or losing money in your business. They don't give a fuck about that. At the end of the day, from this little event, they've conjured up billions somewhere. And I believe that's how they create the black budget funding for the Ghost Legion and the general kind of illusion warfare they do around the world. They kind of have to pay people to play the role of terrorists. You know, people at the bottom of the pyramid, the people that don't know that they work for the double cross system, yeah, like the Operation Gladio people, terrorist networks. You've got to funnel money to them to pay them to live action role play the fictional role they're playing. But you need to hide that money, right? And this is how you do it. Manipulation of the stocks and shares. I spoke about this maybe a week ago with that whole cargo ship and oil tanker that collided in the North Sea just off the coast of England, yet again within the month of March. Yet again, same thing. Someone would have conjured up a lot of money there. Yeah, in the whole insider trading thing, the people that knew, yeah, perhaps a whole espionage network that knows about these things and when they're going to happen, they can obviously move money around, stocks and shares, conjure up money just like that out of thin air. This was revealed to us in Casino Royale, the newer one, which was Daniel Craig's first outing as James Bond 007. Yeah, the whole thing was the bad guy, the chief. He was like the bank account or a bank accountant or whatever you want to call it, the money holder for all of the gangsters and criminals and terrorists around the world. Yeah, and what he was doing was then betting their money in gambling. And he was also had like a network of terrorists that were doing kind of staged fake terrorism. Like it never really had any political or religious agenda, really. It might have been made to look like that on the surface, but really what he was doing was manipulating the stock market, right? If you remember, James Bond's tracking that guy who's got the phone and the code is Eclipsus, and he's there, I think, in LAX airport, and he's about to blow up that giant Boeing plane. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like the world's biggest commercial airliner.
Yes. When they analysed the stock market after 9/11, the CIA discovered a massive shorting of airline stocks. When the stocks hit bottom on 9/12, somebody made a fortune. The same thing happened this morning with Skyfleet stock, or was supposed to. With their prototype destroyed, the company would be near bankruptcy. Instead, somebody lost over $100 million betting the wrong way.
You think it's this man, the chief?
Which would explain how he could set up a high-stakes poker game at Casino Royale in Montenegro.
So back to the whole substation that caught on fire. You know, it's not very hard, is it, for a member of the Ghost Legion to jump over the fence and, you know, put some thermite in the right places, yeah, on a transformer or whatever, yeah, to short circuit or trip out the whole thing. And then obviously I think it automatically releases a load of coolant to shut itself down. And, you know, the people at the National Grid, which are going to be very health and safety driven, would have automatically just shut this place down. so they can go and investigate and then sort out the problem. It turned out to be a huge nothing burger. Heathrow Airport was back running around 8 o'clock in the evening that day. So once again, the mainstream media and the alternative media went straight in there full steam, exaggerating everything, sensationalizing everything, being a part of the problem, yeah, making the illusion bigger than it needs to be via their participation of their Black Mirror influence system, whatever you want to call it, being a blogger, being a podcaster, being a YouTuber, being a TikToker, being an Instagrammer, you know. They're so busy trying to make an income online that they don't understand they're part of a problem. Part of the problem, these pundits and influencers. But on both sides, the mainstream and the alternative. The mainstream alternative, which is more mainstream than the mainstream itself. Yeah, just, you know, you could have poured some petrol on the right places. Not hard at all. The whole big thing yesterday was people were bringing up, like, what, doesn't the world's biggest, or one of the world's biggest airports, Heathrow, have a backup power supply? Of course it does. Someone somewhere at the very top of the pyramid, perhaps the director who's in charge of running the whole operation of Heathrow Airport, or the person who's running the whole operation of the national grid in the UK, made the decision not to divert power to Heathrow Airport. Yeah? I mean, I'm not an expert on the national grid, but I'm pretty sure the way the system works in the modern day is that its power is just, if a substation goes down, or one of the main power stations goes down, yeah, the electric can just be sort of rerouted around and so on. It's a national grid, yeah. It's not just one monolithic line that just goes up and down the country. It's a grid, yeah. And it's designed to have problems in it and power being diverted. Now, I don't know that for sure. I'm sure someone's probably listening to this like their head's exploding now of anger that I may have got that wrong. I don't know. Also, this event in question, I didn't look into it deeply whatsoever. I literally just do what I do when I got time. I just go onto YouTube, which I use as a crystal ball. I go and check out, quote, top news, and I see the general kind of stories and narratives that are being pushed out into the collective conscious. Yeah, that's what you use YouTube for, because YouTube is bigger than all the others combined. Yeah, so you can see the false reality fiction narratives that are being pushed out. Yeah, inception warfare into the minds of the masses, and so on. So forgive me if you're someone that spent a lot of time looking into this thing that happened yesterday and you found codes and evidence here and there and I haven't picked it up. I didn't really want to spend much time on it whatsoever, yeah? So that's it for this recording. I think I'm going to do another recording after this one. We live in a twilight world. There are no friends at dusk.